What if the very choices intended to refine appearance slowly erased the features that once made these celebrities unforgettable? In a culture that constantly chases an ever-shifting idea of perfection, more public figures are stepping into uncertain territory, only to encounter outcomes far beyond expectation. Behind the polished images lies a quieter narrative, one shaped by unforeseen changes, personal reflection, and lessons rarely shared. These stories don't just question beauty standards, they invite us to rethink what it truly means to transform. If you've ever been curious about what unfolds beyond the spotlight, this journey offers a deeper, more thoughtful perspective. Today, we explore some of the most talked about celebrity transformations and the reality that exists beyond the surface. Like many people navigating gender transition, she faced significant barriers in accessing medically supervised care, especially when financial constraints limited safe and legitimate options. These challenges are often part of a broader reality, where affirming healthcare can be unevenly available, placing additional emotional and practical pressure on individuals already going through deeply personal change. Despite these obstacles, Raji Narina Singh continued to focus on building her life and voice through creative work and public advocacy. Her journey gradually evolved into a wider message about resilience, visibility, and the importance of safer, more accessible healthcare systems for transgender individuals. In an effort to find a lower-cost option, she eventually turned to an unlicensed individual, falsely presenting themselves as a qualified practitioner. What followed became a deeply traumatic turning point in her life. The procedure involved the use of unsafe, non-medical substances that are not approved for human injection. Soon after, serious complications emerged, including rapid swelling, severe tissue damage, and visible disfigurement that escalated over time. The physical effects were distressing, and the emotional impact was equally to Joel, leaving her in fear and deep distress about her future. This experience is often referenced in discussions about medical fraud and the dangers of unregulated cosmetic procedures. For Raji Narina Singh, it became a defining moment that underscored the importance of safe medical care, proper oversight, and informed decision-making in any form of body modification. The emotional impact was overwhelming, leading her to step back from public life as she struggled to cope with the physical changes. In that period, she often relied on concealment and isolation as a way to manage both distress and vulnerability. Over time, however, she gradually regained the strength to speak about her experience. Her appearance on the television series Botched became a significant turning point, where medical specialists assessed her condition and attempted to remove harmful injected materials while beginning a long and complex process of reconstruction and recovery. Today, Raji Narina Singh uses her story to raise awareness about the dangers of unlicensed cosmetic procedures. Her experience is often cited in broader conversations about patient safety, highlighting how critical it is to seek qualified medical care and fully understand the risks before undergoing any form of cosmetic treatment. Jessica Alves has become one of the most talked about and debated figures in today's evolving conversation about cosmetic transformation. Once introduced to the public with a highly stylized image, she later shared her truth as a transgender woman and stepped forward with a renewed sense of identity, embracing life as Jessica. Often compared by media narratives to a living doll, her journey goes far beyond appearances. It reflects a deeply personal path shaped by self-expression, persistence, and an ongoing search for alignment between inner identity and outward form. Over the years, her story has come to symbolize not just transformation, but also the complex dialogue between individuality, societal expectations, and the meaning of authenticity in the modern world. These procedures reportedly include multiple rhinoplasties, jaw reshaping, cheek and chin implants, lip fillers, and extensive body contouring. Over time, the combined results have created a dramatic transformation. making her appearance noticeably different from earlier years in the public eye. At first, public reactions were mixed, but often sympathetic. Many admired her openness, courage, and determination to live in alignment with her identity and personal sense of happiness. However, as the number of procedures increased and reports of complications surfaced, public opinion gradually became more complex. What began as curiosity and support slowly shifted into broader discussions about beauty standards, personal limits, and the emotional impact of continuous transformation. Concern gradually began to replace admiration. Friends, medical voices, and outside observers started to question whether her path still represented pure self-expression or whether it had drifted into something more complex and difficult to define. The line between personal choice and persistent transformation became harder to interpret from the outside. Today, opinions remain deeply divided. Some see Jessica Alves as a symbol of absolute freedom to redefine oneself without limits, while others interpret her journey as a cautionary reflection on the pressures of appearance in the modern world. Yet perhaps the most thought-provoking question is not about her outward image, but her inner world. Beyond global attention and constant discussion, uncertainty still lingers around whether true and lasting peace has been found within her transformation. Justin Jedlicka is widely known as one of the public figures often referred to as the human Ken doll in media discussions. Over the years, he has openly spoken about his extensive physical transformation, reportedly undergoing numerous cosmetic procedures in his long-term pursuit of an idealized body image shaped by personal vision rather than conventional standards. Through a combination of surgical enhancements and implants, his appearance has been gradually and intentionally redesigned. Unlike many who approach cosmetic procedures as a way to address specific concerns, Justin has often described his journey as a form of self-directed creation, treating his body as a canvas for aesthetic experimentation. His story continues to spark debate about individuality, artistic expression, and how far personal transformation can extend in modern culture. To him, beauty is not defined by social expectations, but by intention, structure, and complete self-direction. His physique from arms and chest to calves and facial features has been shaped to match a highly personal aesthetic vision, one that he describes as deliberate and self-designed. In his view, the human body can be seen as an evolving form of art, something that can be refined over time, like a sculpted medium guided by imagination. However, this perspective continues to spark ongoing discussion. Critics and observers question where the boundary lies between artistic self-expression and potentially excessive physical alteration. The conversation surrounding Justin Jedlicka ultimately reflects a broader cultural tension: how far personal freedom in transforming appearance should extend, and what it means when identity, art, and the human body begin to overlap in extreme ways. In a world shaped by shifting beauty ideals, some worry his journey may deepen the belief that the natural body is never enough. Medical experts also caution about the potential long-term risks linked to repeated surgical procedures. At the same time, supporters of Justin Jedlicka see his story as one of honesty and self-determination. They view him as someone openly living by his own standards, regardless of public opinion. Ultimately, his path continues to raise important questions about identity, beauty, and how far personal transformation can extend in modern society. Martina Big is often described as one of the most controversial figures associated with extreme body modification. Originally from Germany, she once lived a relatively conventional life and worked as a flight attendant before moving into modeling, where appearance and visibility became central to her public identity. As she entered a more attention-driven media landscape, her transformation began to evolve in ways that attracted international discussion. One of the earliest and most widely reported aspects of her journey involved breast augmentation using saline implants, which were gradually increased over time to an extreme size that drew significant public curiosity and debate. Her story is frequently cited in broader conversations about body autonomy, media influence, and the psychological dimensions of transformation in modern culture. Around 2017, Martina Big began drawing even more international attention after publicly discussing the use of a substance reported to affect skin pigmentation, which coincided with a noticeable change in her appearance over time. She later made statements about identifying as a Black woman, a claim that sparked intense global debate across media and online communities. Her remarks also included intentions to further adjust facial features through cosmetic procedures in pursuit of a specific aesthetic direction, which added another layer of controversy to her already highly visible transformation. The response from the public was sharply divided, with some framing her choices as extreme personal expression, while others criticized them as deeply problematic and culturally insensitive. As a result, her story became not only about physical modification, but also about identity, perception, and the complex boundaries of self-definition in the public eye. Critics argued that racial identity cannot be reduced to physical appearance, pointing out that it is shaped by culture, history, and lived experience rather than something that can be recreated through cosmetic or medical change. Many therefore viewed her statements and transformation as deeply controversial, with some describing them as culturally insensitive and sparking wider debate about boundaries in self-expression. At the same time, Martina Big has continued to stand by her perspective, rejecting accusations and maintaining that her transformation reflects her personal understanding of identity. As a result, her story remains highly divisive, often used to explore broader questions about identity, self-expression, and how far personal transformation can extend before it enters contested cultural and ethical territory. Carol Bryan never expected that a routine cosmetic treatment would alter the course of her life so drastically. In 2009, she sought a minor facial enhancement, believing dermal fillers were a common and low-risk way to maintain a refreshed appearance. However, shortly after the procedure, she began experiencing unusual swelling that did not follow a normal recovery pattern. What initially seemed temporary gradually developed into a serious medical complication that required urgent attention and long-term care. Over time, her condition led to lasting physical consequences, including severe facial damage and loss of vision in one eye. Her experience later became part of broader public discussions about the importance of medical awareness, informed consent, and understanding potential risks even in widely performed cosmetic procedures. The situation worsened as the injected material, later believed to involve unsafe or improperly used substances, began affecting surrounding tissue in unpredictable ways. Over time, it contributed to increasing internal pressure and complications that ultimately caused permanent damage to her optic nerve, resulting in the loss of vision in one eye. Beyond the physical impact, the emotional consequences were equally significant. Carol Bryan reportedly struggled with the psychological aftermath, including trauma and a deep sense of isolation. She withdrew from many social settings and found it difficult to return to her previous routine, as the experience reshaped both her confidence and daily life. Her story is often referenced in discussions about medical safety and cosmetic procedures, highlighting the importance of careful regulation, informed decision-making, and awareness of potential long-term risks. Her turning point came through the persistence of her daughter, who remained determined to find help despite repeated setbacks. After a long search, they eventually connected with specialists at UCLA Medical Center willing to take on her complex condition. From there, she underwent a series of reconstructive procedures, including a major operation lasting many hours in which tissue from other parts of her body was used in an attempt to rebuild damaged areas. These interventions focused not only on restoring physical structure, but also on improving overall function and quality of life. Today, Carol Bryan is often recognized not just for what she endured, but for how she has used her experience to raise awareness. She has spoken publicly about patient safety, informed consent, and the importance of understanding medical risks, becoming a voice for education and caution in the field of cosmetic procedures. Pixie Fox is often described as a figure who challenges the boundary between reality and stylized imagination. Influenced by animated characters and comic-inspired aesthetics, she has pursued a highly unconventional form of self-transformation, aiming for a look that resembles a living, exaggerated illustration rather than traditional beauty norms. Her goal has never been conventional appearance standards, but instead a highly specific visual concept inspired by fictional, highly stylized figures. Over time, this has involved a range of cosmetic procedures, including facial adjustments, lip and breast enhancements, and significant body contouring efforts, most notably extreme waist reduction. Her story is frequently discussed in broader debates about body autonomy, artistic self-expression, and the psychological and physical limits of cosmetic transformation in modern culture. Pixie Fox has publicly stated that she underwent procedures she associates with achieving an extremely small waist, a claim that has generated widespread discussion and differing opinions. The idea of altering the human body to such an unusual degree has drawn attention because it challenges conventional expectations of anatomy and physical proportion. At the same time, medical professionals and observers often raise concerns about the potential risks of extensive cosmetic intervention, especially when it involves repeated or highly invasive procedures. These discussions typically focus on long-term health considerations, surgical safety, and the limits of what the human body can safely endure. As a result, her story is frequently referenced in broader conversations about body modification, personal autonomy, and the complex line between aesthetic aspiration and medical caution. At the same time, her transformation has become part of a wider cultural discussion about how media imagery, fantasy aesthetics, and personal identity can intersect in modern society. While many people remain critical of extreme physical modification, Pixie Fox has consistently stated that she views her appearance as a form of self-directed artistic expression, rather than a pursuit of external validation. From her perspective, the process is not only about appearance, but also about commitment and long-term maintenance, requiring ongoing care and adaptation. This level of transformation is often described as demanding, both physically and personally, as it involves continuous adjustment and resilience over time. Ultimately, her story is frequently used to explore broader questions about individuality, creative freedom, and the evolving boundaries of self-expression in a world where identity and image are increasingly fluid. K. Michelle is a well-known artist and media figure whose experience has also contributed to wider conversations about the risks hidden behind certain cosmetic practices. At the peak of her career, she sought body enhancement procedures that were heavily normalized within entertainment culture at the time, including options that were not medically approved or properly regulated. Like many who faced similar circumstances, she later encountered serious complications that affected her health and well-being. These experiences included ongoing physical discomfort and medical issues that required corrective treatment and long-term care. Her story has since been referenced in broader public discussions about patient safety, informed decision-making, and the pressures placed on appearance within the entertainment industry. Beyond the headlines, it also highlights how quickly aesthetic choices can become medical concerns when proper standards and oversight are not in place. What was originally intended as an aesthetic enhancement instead developed into a serious medical emergency that required immediate and specialized care. Her condition escalated to the point where hospitalization became necessary, followed by a series of corrective surgeries aimed at removing the unsafe materials that had been introduced into her body. These interventions were physically demanding and emotionally draining, as medical teams worked to manage complications that in some cases could not be completely undone. Reconstruction of affected areas became part of a long treatment process, emphasizing how complex recovery can be once non-approved substances have caused deep tissue damage. As a result, Kay, Michelle has been frequently referenced in discussions about the risks of unregulated cosmetic procedures, serving as an example of how quickly aesthetic decisions can turn into serious health concerns when proper medical standards are not followed. Michelle has since spoken openly about her experience, expressing regret and reflecting on the lasting consequences of her choices. She has used her platform to caution others, especially young women, about the dangers of unregulated cosmetic procedures and the pressure to meet unrealistic beauty expectations. By sharing her story publicly, she has helped bring attention to issues that are often hidden until complications occur, emphasizing the importance of informed decisions and medical safety. Her honesty has contributed to wider awareness about how quickly aesthetic choices can become serious health concerns when proper standards are not followed. Today, her experience is often viewed as both a cautionary example and a story of resilience. While she continues her recovery journey, her openness has encouraged more dialogue about safety, responsibility, and awareness in cosmetic enhancement. Behind every transformation is a human story, someone searching for confidence, identity, or a sense of belonging. But when the boundary between enhancement and harm becomes unclear, the outcomes can sometimes carry lasting consequences that change lives in unexpected ways. True beauty is not defined by extremes or perfection, but by health, self-respect, and informed decision-making. These stories remind us that every choice involving the body deserves careful thought, guidance from qualified professionals, and an understanding of potential risks. If there is one message to take away, it is the importance of prioritizing well-being above unrealistic expectations. Asking questions, seeking proper expertise, and valuing safety are essential steps in any personal decision about appearance. In the end, confidence comes not from chasing perfection, but from finding peace and comfort in your own skin.